States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any concerns from the public over the agenda items? Very good. Approval of minutes. I get a motion to approve the minutes from the October 21st meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So this one will be for you three. Approval of minutes from the November 7th public hearing.
Make the motion to approve.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
So let's see, that's gonna be 3-0, right?
And then approval of minutes from the November 11th special meeting for the ratification of the teacher's contract. Need a motion for that?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, and thank the three of you for being able to make it since Cameron and I could not.
Yes, yeah, thank you guys, appreciate it.
Personnel recommendations, any changes?
Nope. What you see is what it is.
Okay. I get a motion to approve the personnel recommendations as presented.
I do have a quick question. So is there a actual boys basketball head coach, or are they all volunteers? I was just a question. I see a lot of volunteers on there, so I was like,
For the middle school?
yeah.
Good question.
It was just a question, I don't know.
Chad Zimmerman is the 7th grade coach, right?
Yeah, Chad took Nick Radke's spot.
Oh, okay, I
That
see
was
that
a
on
paid
there, sorry.
position.
Okay. No, we're good.
Who was the
I
8th
just-
grade coach?
So,
Would you approve that a ways back, the 8th grade coach? Is there an 8th grade?
Yeah, there is an 8th grade.
Nathan,
Yeah,
Radke.
it's Nick.
Okay, Nathan, yeah, okay.
And that big batch of volunteers is for the lower level feeder system.
I got you.
That's where all the,
This is
basically
sixth
any
grade coming in
parents
or whatever. I got
that
you.
are willing to help you.
Yeah.
Second, third, fourth,
We did
fifth.
all the higher,
Yeah.
the head basketball coaches a long time ago.
Yeah, back in the summer,
Yeah.
July,
Yep.
August time. And Nathan, he's been the 8th grade coach for several years now, so.
Well, that's good, you got some buy-in, you got
But that's
a
the
lot of
reason.
volunteers here that are willing to step up.
Yeah, that's sticking out to you and looks different because he's going about it differently.
Right, no, I know, now,
Yeah,
good, I was just,
right. He's saying, parents, you come in and help with these first, second, third with the younger kids.
Because it was labeled like all of middle school too, it wasn't like a specific grade.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Sounds good, thanks.
Sonny, did you have a question about something?
no, I'm good.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve personnel recommendations as presented?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Financial reports.
Just a few things that kind of really stood out. So November, it's usually how it operates every year, but November is a large, like, vocational payment month. So we're paying all of our vocational amounts to the different schools and skills center in that. So collectively, you put all those together and, you know, that's kind of a lot of money. And then in November, you also have your insurance premium costs. So we pay that every November as well, because that renews the beginning of November. And so we got to pay the bills. But then an IXL license, which is just a remediation software, similar, you know, this time of year, you're kind of paying those bills. So a lot of larger bills, but not uncommon for this time of year.
I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Between the Plymouth and the Knox, do they offer different programs for the nursing? Because it looked like we had nursing students in both schools.
As far
Or
as
is that a misprint?
it might have been a misprint then, because in nursing just is
Is
over
Knox
at.
only?
Okay, so what you may have been in misprint, you have nursing at Knox, but then like Plymouth and that, you have EMT and
Oh.
kind of that side of things.
But the accurate answer is, those are the two hubs, and there are a lot of programs that are mirrored
Yeah.
Okay.
at both sites.
Any other questions? Can I get a motion to approve the payroll and vendor claims in the amount of $1,927,685.06?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Monetary donations.
Yeah, so we had several donations this month, which is very, very good. But I'll just kind of run down the list here. We had the White Neck family donate $3,000 to girls cross country and track. Pulaski County Council, you can call this kind of a donation, but they donated or gave the school $5,000 from solar funds. And so the council felt like with SB1 and all of that kind of uncertainty there, they wanted to be able to help out. And so this is in addition to, what we usually get.
Nobody had to ask for that. They
Nope,
just-
we did not ask for it, to be honest with you. It showed up and I was like, what is this? And so, reached out to them, just to clarify and everything, and, really told them how appreciative about that we were, so they were gonna pass that on to the council. And then Kim Cook, $200 to the middle school student council. Northern Indiana Community Foundation, we're very grateful for them, but $600 towards the Veterans Day program. And that was what Angie did there at the middle school. And then the Scotchville family, they donated $100 to robotics. So, very thankful. We thank all of those people and organizations for their donations, and just asking for your acceptance of those tonight.
Just a quick question, and it's not about this, but the Pulaski County one that brings up a question. The tax base, and maybe this is more for business, but like this, since our school district spills over into Pulaski County, do any of the tax revenue, excuse me, that they get for that county, does it come to our school for that, or is it just Stark County only, Pulaski County only? We get something from that, right? I couldn't remember what it
Portion of the
was.
township,
Right, just the township, right?
that
Yeah.
portion of it.
Right, okay,
Yeah, that portion of it comes to our coffers.
okay.
And they kind of-
Have we seen any of that yet, or no?
No, usually you get your, it's
In
June and December.
December.
Yep, June and
That's right.
December, you get them twice a year. But and kind of off of your question there, that $5,000, they came up with that amount because off of how many kids in Pulaski County go to North Judson.
Okay.
So like West Central Schools got some, Winnemac obviously got a good amount. And then I think even maybe like Culver or some of those, they kind of looked at the surrounding schools, the amount of Pulaski County kids that went, and then that's how they decided on the amount.
That's very generous of them to do that, I think.
Yeah,
So, did you talk to them about that?
Yeah.
Is that, the question came up, is that gonna be an annual thing, or is that just a one-shot deal?
for right now, just kind of a one-shot deal. Just they wanted to give that right now, just to kind of help out with that, like I said, SB1 uncertainty, losing money out. So hopefully, I mean, we'll see what it turns into the future, but we'll take what we can get from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, can I get a motion to accept the monetary donations?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Masonry Alternative Building.
Yeah, so I thought we needed to get everybody caught up on the same page, and so I wanted to have whatever discussion we need to have regarding where we're at on the potential masonry alternative building, and then we'll get to science lab update on what we know about where we're at in that process. But Cameron and Everett, I don't know how much you've communicated with the rest of the board, but I know this one of the last pins to fall. You and Don Duncan had some communication over the weekend.
Yeah, so Saturday, Don and I had a conversation about it, and, cause I know I think he came in the last meeting, I couldn't make it to, and kind of presented like the pricing or whatever you guys. And there was still some uncertainty. And my only takeaway, and Sonny, I mean, him and I haven't had a chance to talk, but I think my kind of go-to to Don was like, we need to get the plans. We need to get the plans done, so everybody's bidding off the same sheet of music, so we can get a price for this thing and actually figure out what is this gonna cost us. Cause right now there's, from what I've seen, there's kind of like 3 or 4 different prices. The building, you know, was kind of 3 different ways, so it's like, you know, we're still comparing apples and oranges across the 3. 2 of them I think were pretty close and similar, so that's like my thing. I told Don, I'm like, listen, get the plans done as close to the 2, you know, try and take whatever you can for all 3 of them, but if 2 out of the 3 bidders were very similar, let's get the plans developed as close to the 2 so we can get a package that they can all bid off of, and let's put this thing to bed, because there's all this back and forth, and you know, well, this guy wants to do it this way, you know, this builder wants to do it this way. Okay, that's fine, but we gotta get the plan set and done so we can get a price.
Right. Yeah, so
that was kind of my
process to get-
directive to him was, let's get the plans.
So I'll add to that from a process standpoint. Everett and I sat in here at this space with Don Duncan, our architect, 2 Fridays ago, spent the afternoon, and each one of these 4 potential bidders came in for an hour time slot. And that's where what Cameron very accurately described there is, so spending that day doing that helped us get closer to apples, but yeah, you said it well. They're all kind of bidding their go-to model of what they typically do. I don't know what you think. Don seems to be really good at helping us try to parse that out. So, what would you add to that?
Well, I agree. Very educational in that process. And I don't know if it was from what Don originally put out or they interpreted it differently, but there was a fair spread in their definition of what they're quoting, and it was reflected in the numbers, obviously. Don was kind of in charge, well, we need to kind of pull this back in, so we're doing apples to apples, which he was doing, and making contact with those folks to bring it in. And I think we kind of came up with just a preliminary evaluation was that one guy was kind of way out in left field, so we kind of thanked him for his effort and so on. So we got down to 3 at this point. But I mean, what I came with, you can't build a cheap school building. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. I mean, what I think Don came up with, which was on his report, it looks like our pole barn is gonna run between 580,000 to 760,000. My hunch is it's gonna be more at the high end, because I don't think they ever come in low. And so man, this is things getting, consider what we started with. What our visions were and what we're trying to start with. You know, and I kind of came to the conclusion, well, if we get something around 300 maybe that's reasonable, still kind of high on the high end. We're doubling it, over doubling that.
Yeah, over
Over doubling that now. So I think it's gonna be a great building and stuff like that, but, and I don't know if we wanna get into this, but the information that, well, Sheila and Dr. Kelly and I talked about the utilization issues, I don't know if you had a chance to digest that.
Yeah.
I've been going over that, and I've got a number of questions, I guess, and I don't know if this is the appropriate time to discuss that or not, but kind of stepping back, I'm thinking, well, is this really the direction we want to go? I think we need to do something with those 2, the vocational, the alternative, but based upon this, I'm thinking, well, is that really what we want? Is that, in a perfect scenario, would we pick that process out of all the other options. Is kind of what I came to the conclusion.
So where are those numbers coming from? How is he having people bid it if he doesn't have a solid set of prints yet?
Well,
Well,
it was just a generic kind of, hey, here's the outline of what we're shooting for. What's your budgetary pricing on this? And then,
What they came with
no, you're
what
good.
they came with originally was just the outer structure.
Right,
They didn't quote the turnkey operation.
right.
So I think there was some thought that, maybe we can do some stuff internally ourselves, do that. So I think then they came back and says, no, we want you to do a turnkey operation with the exception of, I think, some masonry walls and stuff like that, some
Yeah.
other stuff. that
So
we
he's
were-
trying to have these 3 companies bid a turnkey operation?
Correct.
But, well,
Well,
yes and no. As one option, yes.
yes,
As one option, yes. One of the companies is perfectly comfortable, probably more so
Yeah.
comfortable being GC and doing whatever we
subs-
want them
sub,
to
yeah.
do.
Well, and that's basically what Don and I talked about, is basically them getting a turnkey price, but subbing out
the
You know,
heating,
the heating,
plumbing, all that
the
stuff, yeah.
other stuff,
Sub.
and that's utilizing
General.
this next meeting that Don was talking about is if we have, concrete subs or electrical subs, that we would like them to price specifically, there's all sorts of things that we can get into, but basically getting a turnkey package for the whole building. Electrical, heating,
So we kind of had.
insulation, the whole
Final
thing.
number.
Right.
Now, we could be the general, I suppose, if you wanna try and do that, but you kind
I
of.
guess my point is, I don't even know how we can go by that number, because what, if Joe Blow says, yeah, I can do a turnkey, and it's gonna be X amount of dollars, we haven't even tried to resource anybody local, anywhere, that does plumbing, heating, electrical, concrete. They're just way overshooting everything and adding their mark on the end of it.
That's
So that
exactly
number
what,
to me doesn't really mean anything.
that's exactly why I told Don, we have to get the prints done. Solidify the way we want the building built, so then that way we get pricing on the whole thing.
Yeah,
And,
so-
and then we can make a decision as a board, how do we wanna move forward? Because that's, to Sonny's point, when you're looking at this budgetary number, even if they're throwing it high, we will need to make a decision because of,
It ain't gonna come down too much,
right,
honestly, from what they're talking about, I mean, they were, off the top of the head, $150, $200 a square foot, something like that, I think they were throwing around. I said, why don't we start out like $100 a square foot? But anyway, think about it, these are like, there's 4 walls in there or something like that.
You can build a home for $250
I know
a square
that.
foot.
Well,
Right.
think of the building you can build for $760,000.
yeah.
It's not a pole barn.
Yeah, that's not a pole barn, that's
So he is headed in the direction of getting
getting the
a
package
finalized set of prints
done, so we
with
can.
specs, so that then people can,
So I would throw, so here, that's part of the problem is I would throw the specs verbiage loosely because
well, we
again,
don't have state approved permits, I understand that.
well, not only that, but then when you start talking each one of these, so whatever, Morton, again, they use, XYZ hurricane clip, whoever, I forget, FBI uses XYZ hurricane clip.
So the
know.
building looks lead, but as far as the electric.
Yeah, electrical,
needs,
plumbing, yeah, all that stuff, yes, those
Stools,
packages,
faucets, grab bars,
exactly, all that stuff
that
would be
can all be spec'd and bid properly,
Properly.
and then the building will have a little fluctuation.
100%, yes. That is it.
But that gives us like a ballpark figure, so
Well, it'll
we
be-
can look at, oh, this electrical is coming in much more reasonably
It-
when we
It should
outsource it
give us,
than
by the
at.
time he's done, it should give us the price of those 3 bidders, what, I would say within a couple percent of
Mhm.
what the total package should be.
Okay,
I mean, they, ask the same question, they've got experience in doing these kind of things, they know what, the plumbing's gonna cost, we had the specs on the HVAC.
Right.
So they kind of have a pretty good idea of what those numbers are gonna be.
Right.
Now, yeah, and then they add their 2 cents worth and away they go. Unless we want to act as general.
So where are we at in the season?
So
Dialing
he's-
that in?
So I think Kelly's gonna talk to it.
Yep, I can read, let me read his last email from 4 days ago. I've reached out to Millie's Engineering Group and they believe they can wrap up their drawings by Thanksgiving. I could get the bid drawings out the first week of December and hopefully we can open bids before Christmas if all goes very well.
And basically, what Don and I had talked about on Saturday was trying to have the pricing by no later than into January, kind of, is what.
And then he ended that with, not one of the three of us have
Yeah.
responded to him, you know, because he had a question about one item that was brought up by the engineering group. Do we have information about the utility connections, sewer, water, natural gas, low voltage services will be needing to be connected into? If a copy of the prints of the new bus barn are available, perhaps the information could be found on it.
Yeah,
None of that connection is in the city.
Right.
Where they're connected at,
No, in the,
Yeah.
connected to the city
gas
utilities.
to the water, the sewer system, all that stuff.
Gas is no charge. Water and sewer is gonna be negotiated because of something else I have here.
So that's the update on the timeline for that. Any other questions or thoughts or?
No, I was just gonna address
I
Sunny's
have a lot of
questions,
thoughts.
that's probably better for a work session.
That's kind of what I was thinking
Yeah.
as well.
I would like to do that as well.
Okay,
Okay.
right.
Science labs.
So next is the, science labs, the, tomorrow,
Mhm.
correct, Dalton, the
Yeah, tomorrow.
pre-bid meeting.
Yep, I'll have contractors, will come here to this office and we can kind of go through a little meeting and then they'll be able to go over and view the science labs and look at each of the rooms and labs, to get an idea. And then December 11th, the Thursday before our meeting here, is the bid opening, so all bids have to be in before then, and then we'll open and view all those and be able to bring to you guys on the 16th, I believe, who we recommend or who Lancer would like to go with as well.
So Tara Buhner will be here tomorrow afternoon leading that.
Yep.
Pre-bid meeting.
Real quick, so tomorrow's pre-bid and then the bids are due back when, the 11th of December?
Yeah, that's the bid opening, yeah.
Yeah, 11th is the opening, so I imagine the
Now, the bid,
turn cutoff is
the bids have,
prior to.
Have they been out, have they
they've,
prints out?
yeah, they've already been out, yeah,
Right.
they went out at the beginning of this month, cause we had to put stuff in the paper and Tara submitted stuff elsewhere, so bids have been out, so they've been able to see them. This is just more of a, be
This is
able to
their
walk through.
opportunity to put eyes on it and see
Yep.
what they're dealing with.
Do you know how many contractors are coming in, or is there a schedule at all?
I don't know if it said on our email.
So is Lancer handling it all?
Yeah, Tara will be here and another gentleman by the name of Brian will be here that works with Tara.
Let me see if I can click on a different.
Can we get a chance to look at those blueprints?
Of the science lab,
Yeah.
just briefly, I didn't get a chance to like really dive into them.
Oh, I
It-
can print that here.
Looked pretty basic from what I looked at.
I don't have any shit.
Well, I was looking more at the ventilation system and so
No,
on,
I
and
didn't
the exhaust
get into
system
that.
and stuff. And it just occurred, some of the discussion that, I don't know, we had, the other meeting we had, I don't know where, but about how the process was on the bus barn.
Mm.
And kind of the elaborate design was put into that, and the structural design and all that stuff for what we're trying to accomplish with the bus barn. And then the cost obviously reflected that. And it just occurred to me that I'm wondering if, and I couldn't tell you, but I'm looking at that print, I said, man, it seems like quite an elaborate ventilation system to get some exhaust stuff out of that classroom. And again, I don't know, and I don't know if that will come up during the meeting, that maybe these contractors got alternative suggestions that, hey, we can save you money here. And I don't know if Lance would lead that or how that would occur, I don't know.
Okay.
I just don't wanna go down that path of going, well, you know, we could have did it a little more cost effective way.
Right,
Finding that out
right, yeah,
later in the process.
no, I agree.
The only thing about the school that I would say is I guarantee you there's state specs that they have to meet. So I would venture to say whatever that is probably what Lancer designed it to. Not saying right, wrong, or indifferent. The school building is probably designed, if I had to guess, to the nth degree. Yeah, to the max, unfortunately.
Yeah, so that's the timeline updates on the science lab at this time. So yes, and to Sheila's point, I do think now that everyone's had an opportunity to look at the utilization, you know, the narrative I provided you, the map now that I've provided you, I do think a work session to focus on that. Once we have, I think, more of the closer to harder numbers, then I think we should schedule that and make that our next opportunity. Okay? Then the next on the discussion, Neola policies. This is our first reading. We got 3 batches that have come through. My Neola guy, he didn't schedule with me to sit down and go through these policies until November. So we've got a lot of very interesting reading there. I will tell you once again, it is more about somehow just scratching this word and changing it with another word more than anything else. So, but look through those. If you have questions on any of them, send me an email and I'll get back to you before the next meeting.
Superintendent's report.
So, got a list of important dates coming up. We got Thanksgiving break on the horizon, Christmas break. Our December regular scheduled board meeting is the 16th. Teachers return on the 5th of January and students on the 6th. A few upcoming events that are going to take place. Again, this coming weekend on the 22nd, we will be hosting our first home robotics competition. And Coach Clifford has over 40 teams signed up, so that will be a long day. You could cycle through, I would say, you would get to see action and competition taking place. If you found time to pop into the high school gym between 9 in the morning and 4 or 5 in the afternoon.
That day was Brett.
Yes.
I was a little upset when I saw when that was. I think it was in our notes or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I'm on call this weekend, but as long as there's that time frame, then I'll figure out a way to sneak home.
He's got it reserved from 6 in the morning till 6 in the evening. And
Is it just the gym area or the gym and the cafeteria?
both. The cafeteria is the staging, kind of a staging area, and where they go back to work on their robots and things. Competition will be in the gym.
Just meals or anything like that? If anybody coming in?
Concessions.
Are we doing that, or they bring somebody in, or how?
I'm not sure if Mike is working with somebody else on, but when he does that, they usually agree to a percentage donated back. But yeah, so we've learned a lot about the robotics competitions, taking our kids to Caston's been doing it for a while, but I guess it is agreed upon in this world, but you don't charge at the gate. The robotics world doesn't charge at the gate. And so that's not something.
Until the first school starts charging.
Until somebody does. So
What are you saying, Sonny? You trying to pioneer something?
I don't know where they landed. We discussed the possibility of donation. I know in the music department, we do a little bit of that. But concessions, Mike Sharkozy and Joe Clifford are working closely on the concessions for that day. Right.
What was it, Darlene's and Sketchfield?
Yeah, we do a lot.
concessions?
Darlene's and the Sketchfields do a lot with us. Kona Ice, the coffee guy, Tom.
Are they gonna run the concession stand as well,
Well, I think Mike's, yeah, I got people for that. Mike's taking care of it. Mike and Joe have it handled,
Okay, good.
so yeah.
Good.
So, question, I've never been to one of these, and the only reason why I'm asking is, I'm thinking in my head like the battle bot robotic things, you know, where they like trash each other.
There's an element to that,
So
yeah.
great. Are we protecting the gym floor? Because we just put all that money into the gym floor. I don't know what this looks like. I don't want to be.
So the game, their game.
They have like
boards.
a. Oh,
Yep.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so the
I've
game
never
boards
been to
are-
one, so
Yeah, no, it's a very good question.
I'm seeing them in the center of the basketball court and just parts
Right.
flying and
Metal, plastic.
here we are. We got a gym floor that we're at.
Tired.
Yeah, about the size of our desk outline is a game board, so there'll be, what, 4 or 6
Awesome.
of those?
They've got up in the robotic lab there's one.
Yeah.
Set up there, yeah.
No, awesome. That's great.
Then we have, coming up on Friday night, December 5, the Madrigal Dinner, 6 PM in the high school cafeteria.
That's incorrect.
Oh.
It's at St. Peter Lutheran in their old,
Oh, I took it off Carly's calendar today, it's at St. Peter's.
yeah.
Oh,
It was here until they got their roof fixed.
oh, okay,
Now the roof is fixed.
okay,
And
so
it's,
I
and it's also Saturday night at 6 and Sunday at 2 o'clock.
pretty much disregard everything I put on the Madrigal Dinner.
The rest of it's probably fine, I don't know anything about it, but I do
figured
know
if I got it
Madrigal.
wrong, you would know. the correct
Yeah,
answer.
and if you need tickets, you just call the high school and they'll reserve them for you, you can pay at the door.
Here, I really thought I was doing something good getting in Carly's shared calendar today.
I'll inform Evan, he needs to take things off your calendar when he makes
Whatever.
alternate, it's partly his fault there.
We'll end with that then. Then PTO Santa Shop is at the elementary the next morning, on the 6th, 7 AM to 2 PM in the multipurpose room. Some vocational updates. I've had meetings the last 2 days in Plymouth. We are working on the comprehensive local needs assessment. Every 2 years, your vocational cooperative, we have to identify, what do we have a good student population in, what's on the horizon, what would we like to see, and that's how we get those Perkins dollars flowing in for our vocational programming. So I was a part of that. Some things that the group talked about so that we will have in there, because if it's not named in that CLNA, you have a very tough time of getting funding. So we talked about electrical, CDL, creative idea. The problem, everybody would love to get CDL going. It doesn't lend itself to a semester even course. But so one of the ideas we're gonna kick around is can it be an add-on to one of the other trades? So if you take building trades, then say at the end of the school year, when May and maybe a week into June, if we need 5 weeks, maybe you qualify yourself for this intensive CDL training. So our vocational director we're kicking the tires on that, pun intended, on the CDL. AI is an emerging program, certainly one that could be a shared program and easily done remotely. If we had one teacher somewhere in one of the 8 schools, we could easily have our kids remote into that as well to make it a shared program.
Excuse me, Kelly, I thought we were doing something with AI already. Or was that just the
Oh, we are.
IT department or something?
Yeah, no, everybody, the IT department led a group of teachers last year to figure out kind of what, like Mrs. Schumacher, what does she want to use in her classroom to help utilize AI. So we're doing that. This would be a course kind of more like a computer science
The
course.
creative end of it.
That maybe would lead to employment for somebody in the future working in the AI industry. So a little bit different.
Okay.
Yeah. And then nursing and pre-med, some conversation about how does that look, what going forward. High demand, high wage positions. So what else can we do in those veins to try to get employment opportunities?
So a quick question about the vocational stuff, because I just heard the other day, do we have so with building trades with, the masonry, with the potential electrical, is there a cap, excuse me, on how many students can enroll in that? Cause I heard like building trades is limited to only 6. Is that true or false?
There's truth to that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when it's a shared program, so like our kids going to Culver, Culver's getting, Culver kids, North Judson Knox,
Right.
maybe OD as well. So enrollment dictates how many enrollment slots a school has. So, if you're Plymouth in our cooperative, they're gonna have the most seats available for one of their programming. John Glenn's gonna send kids over to Plymouth, they're gonna have X amount of seats available to them. So yeah, it creates wait lists, second choices sometimes. So yeah.
Excuse me. So in the cooperative,
Mm-hmm.
is there discussion saying, all right, well, Culver's doing the building trades. If we hit a certain level, then who's the next up to bat? Would it be Judson, Knox? I mean, is there, that kind of discussion occurs or not?
Yeah, that's exactly kind of part of the process that we've had the last couple days, are those exact kind of conversations. Currently in our cooperative, Culver has building trades, John Glenn does, and Plymouth does. Culver and John Glenn both build houses,
Yeah.
a full year-long house project. Plymouth actually does a lab setting, in-house laboratory, on campus. Yeah, build walls, do the roof, yeah.
Okay. So with our masonry program,
Mm-hmm.
has that been a discussion on this cooperative saying, hey, we're gonna be the masonry building
Yes.
specialist, if you will,
Yeah,
of the cooperative?
yes. So they're going, now this time of year, they're gonna start pushing that through their guidance departments to say, hey, there's this
Kenny here.
new option that Judson is housing. So if anybody's interested in that, put that as on your list,
Okay.
1, 2, 3. So
Is
that we
that
can,
gained any traction?
they're just now starting the
Sorry,
process. Yep.
So with the electrical then, is that something you're thinking about trying to initiate, or in the cooperative, is it offered someplace else?
Right now, it's not offered, and it's just one we want to explore. Could it possibly be offered somewhere
Okay.
in one of the cooperative schools? So. Okay. Good numbers is, information is that our enrollment across the board is up. So vocational enrollment, we've got more kids enrolled in vocational classes. The cooperative as a whole does. Now Dalton, I heard him grumble over here because he's watching that ins and outs. The more kids we have in, the more, especially if they are attending at Knox.
Trust me, I don't like
Or
it, seeing
Culver.
that's red out there either.
Right.
Same thing.
So, that's that cooperative model, because otherwise the 8 or 9 individual schools couldn't offer everything that's being offered, so. Yeah, but it's good that numbers are increasing, because that helps the overall health of the cooperative too, which is a good thing. Some other results that I've got here from our Caston first robotics competition ever. We got 6 teams in the top 10 at that competition, so that's pretty impressive. Drone practice started today. We had 12 kids after school, so the kit is in and they've got it set up, and so tonight was their first practice. I'll find out how that went. And then we already kind of talked a little bit about this. Sonny and Sheila and I had talked about this one of the mornings that we spent the last couple weeks together, but we specifically will be looking at the potential for a work session to look at the building utilization. But another idea I'm considering is bringing one of the principals in for a work session as we go along, to have a little bit more deeper conversation on academics and some of the questions that you guys each individually will have, then that we can have a real conversation about, yeah, here's how we do that, or we're not quite there yet, but we're trying to get there types of conversations. So
I understand we fell just a little short because we were missing a person for the spelling contest.
I don't know on that one.
What
I
was
think Mrs. Archer mentioned that there were a couple of students that were on the team that didn't show up for the competition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That was just,
just recently in the last couple of weeks
Okay.
was the competition.
yeah, I hadn't heard that one.
Yeah,
All
One
right.
of the kids' grandfathers is who I heard it from, but I didn't know
yeah.
when it was, how reliable the information was. Like they're supposed to have 10 kids or something. And
I'm not sure.
12.
I'm not sure. how
However
many
it
were-
works
yeah,
out, there was kids that didn't show up, so they lost points.
Yeah, they don't get to get a team score at that point, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Anything under old business? Nothing. Oh, wait. Anything else? Anybody have anything else? I do. I went to the town board meeting last night, and they have decided to put up a lit sign, like a, let's say like the sign we have out by the highway, at Norwayne Field. Money they've budgeted, they're gonna be a little bit short of doing a matching stonework around the two pillars, the two legs, metal legs that go in the ground.
Oh,
They asked me if that's something that our masonry class
we'll find
could
out.
do. If that's something he would be interested in doing after the first of the year, closer to spring, we can put him and Joe in contact with each other.
That's a great idea.
Lezick, and then maybe they can get some real hands-on experience. Build
I like
something they can drive by and see.
Mr. Hoffman had just emailed me 5 hours ago, talking about, equipment order, he's ready to get his mixer and a saw. And he said he mixed up some, cause this first start here, a lot more of the, carpentry side of things. But he just told me today, I mixed up a little mortar and had the boys try laying some block and had some positive results. They seemed excited and wanting to get into it. So that's good. Yeah.
So is he the, you guys might talk about this, is he the full replacement or
Yeah,
is he the interim?
he is. Nope, he's
Okay,
with
gonna get the
us
full, okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
and it's going well.
So anyways, that was what I had brought up, Sonny, about a bargaining chip
Good.
for
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah, I'll talk with Mr. Hoffman then.
Okay, thank you. Linda, anything?
Good.
Eric?
I'm gonna add as you talk about the vocational, the CTE,
Mhm.
they did have the CTE fair at Knox.
That's right.
8th graders and 10th graders, we send them over to Knox to see what offerings are there. Our masonry, Mr. Hoffman had students over there presenting what they were doing, so we had a booth over there for our masonry program.
That's awesome.
So when you asked if the word's getting out, yeah, they had a booth over there trying to get interest from other schools that are doing the same thing, so.
That's right.
Nice.
Cool. Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
So is that only our cooperative or can we go west with it? Can we only reach out to like
No,
the schools in our
I can
co-op? or
do-
can we go-
I can do MOUs with other schools.
Okay.
So that's coming here in the next few
I
weeks.
gotcha.
I've got some visits to make and
Nice.
see if I can create some relationships for us.
Awesome.
Oh, my pea brain kicked in. For the work sessions, we're gonna shove them off till after the first of the year.
Yeah,
Till
I
after
think
we
so.
get some better numbers.
unless I guess timing wise, on this first one, we may need to do that quicker so that we have all the information to decide on whether, if we're taking another step on that.
Well, we're getting the prints no matter what, right? We've already
Yes.
agreed to pay for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
To have people bid it costs us nothing.
Nothing.
correct.
So are you okay with your discussions,
Well-
waiting to see what kind of real numbers we get?
I'm okay with that, it's just,
Nobody's gonna make a decision,
no,
but
it's
at least we get some real,
just kind of stepping back and looking at this
solid
whole
numbers.
process and what we're trying to accomplish, is what
so you're all right with.
this, the floor plan and the utilization stuff kind of got me thinking a little bit.
So you're fine with waiting until we get those numbers, we
I'm
can
ready to go
discuss
wherever you got
that,
to go.
we can discuss that all at one time, maybe
It
in
would make,
January or
yeah.
something.
it will make things
Yeah.
a lot, it'll streamline things, it once we have the numbers, because then we can discuss it, figure out what we wanna do, and then we can, whatever contractor we would select, we can move forward with the structural permit through the state. And my thought process on that even, and I'll just throw it out there before the work session, was that even if we select a contractor and we don't proceed with the building, we can still get the permit, which would be good for a whole year to make that decision. We could carve out just the structural piece of that contract, whoever we would potentially select, not award a whole contract, but just a piece in order to get the permit.
Gotcha.
Was a suggestion that I thought I had, cause to your point, Sonny, I'm looking at science labs, dollars there, what does this bid come back in at? In my mind,
We gotta have a
Is
lot
this-
more information before we sit down and have a work session.
exactly.
We won't have those numbers till our next meeting, right?
As far as the science lab,
Yeah, right.
yeah, we'll have science lab
Solid.
next meeting,
Right.
yeah.
So we're good for a work session until end of January or something, probably.
Yeah.
We'll get the building numbers, we'll have the science lab numbers.
Yeah,
And then
we
we
can
can
make a
sit
full
down.
decision, on how we're gonna proceed.
And just generally speaking, we can talk, in the meantime too, we can talk about what we see in those work sessions, cause we can do them just a half an hour before our meetings and kind of capture them that way as we go along.
Yeah.
As an option. So, but yeah.
Everybody good? All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?